I want to invite you to join me in a guided meditation of gratitude for these lives we've been given. I am tired of everyone complaining all the time about the countries we live in, the state of the world, the state of the environment, the state of politicians, the state of everything, when in fact there is so much to be grateful for. And this isn't about being a Pollyanna, this isn't about digging our heads into the sand and pretending like shit isn't terrible in certain ways. Because we have a right to be frightened, we have a right to be upset about the way many things are going in this world. But that doesn't discount the fact that there is still a lot to be grateful for. We really need to shift our priorities, because what you focus on becomes your narrative. What you focus on becomes your truth. And yes, there is corruption. Yes, there is pollution. Yes, there is yada, 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 yada. But is that what you want to be your story? Is that the world you really want to live in? The one that's dominated by the horrible headlines we see in the news and the gossip we share about each other? Or would you rather focus on the beauty? Because I know what I'd like to do. So please get comfortable. I'm sitting on the ground, but you don't have to. You can lay down or sit in a chair. Do a headstand for all I care. But feel yourself getting cozy. And we'll begin by just taking an inward focus on the breath. You can close your eyes or take a soft focus in front of you. Allow your ribcage to expand on the inhale, contract on the exhale. And allow everything to become soft. Your mind, your body, the world. Allow everything to become a little bit hazy. And if you can, smile softly to yourself. Notice the length of your inhale, notice the length of your exhale, and see if they can come into equilibrium. And I want you to envision yourself standing underneath the sunshine. It's a beautiful, temperate day. The breeze is gentle, and the sunlight feels delicious on your skin. Birds are chirping nearby, and there's nowhere you're rushing to. You have all the time you need to just meander about. Notice that you are barefoot, and you feel the earth underneath you. Wiggle your toes. Feel the blades of grass sliding in between each toe, or the mud underneath your soles, or the rocks pressing into your arches. Notice if you see in your mind's eye any dragonflies or butterflies or ladybugs flying about. Notice if you are in an urban environment or a natural environment. Maybe you're in a park in a city, or maybe you're in a glade in the forest, or maybe you want to be on a sandy beach. Notice how beautiful this world is around you. Notice the colors of the sky. Shades of blue, ranging from azure to cerulean to powder blue. Maybe it's twilight and it's dipping into more of a cobalt or a teal. Maybe the clouds are fiery and streaked with orange, crimson, gold, fuchsia. Maybe there's shades of violet or even green, emerald. Notice the textures, shapes, and colors around you. Something as simple and as common as a tree can be absolutely breathtaking if you slow down and pay attention to it. The patterns in its bark, the shape its branches make, the gnarled, twisting quality of its roots that crawl along the surface, the animals that climb into its branches. Maybe you pay attention to the foliage. Is it springtime and there are little buds that are velvety and ready to burst? Perhaps it's autumn and the leaves are turning gold, or russet, or ruby. Or maybe it's that beautiful period in late spring where the leaves are just so vibrantly green. There's this one particular shade of green that all new plants have when they're reaching that stage of finally growing into their full shape but not quite there yet. Maybe it's the more muted, deeper green of full summer. Notice the topography around you. Are you on a mountaintop, in a valley, on a glacier, by a stream, by the ocean, in a park, in a concrete jungle, in a frozen tundra, a rainforest? Notice the sacredness of it. Notice the space around you. Notice the vastness around you. And notice just how perfect everything is. Notice how you are part of this world and this world is a part of you. Notice how magical it is to be here. And notice how lucky we are to be here. This planet is majestic, filled with vibrant forms of life. Think how lucky we are to get to be alive. And to be living at a time where, for most of us, we don't have to worry about access to food and clean water. We have places to live with, most of us, climate control, sanitation. Most of us have access to education. Many of us are able to read and write and learn. We can find any book, any idea in the world with just a tap of a finger now. How lucky are we to be living in a time of medicine where a lot of things that would have killed us in centuries past no longer even exist. And when bad things come, oftentimes they can be mediated and or fixed. Think of how grateful we are that we are living at a time where fewer people are in poverty than in the last several thousand years of human existence. More people are able to thrive than in the last several thousand years of existence. That we live at a time with relatively little war compared with the last few thousand years of existence. That we live at a time with relative longevity, that our parents, our grandparents, our siblings can theoretically live into their 8th and 9th, maybe even 10th decade of life. For all of its problems, think of how grateful you are to be living in the country you live in, where there's a feeling of at least somewhat safety, somewhat accountability, reliability, justice, hopefully. Maybe not as exact as we would like, but It's a lot better than it could be. See all the things for which you can be grateful. We live in an amazing world at an amazing time, and there is so much we can find gratitude for. But we have to choose to see it. And when we see it, drink it in, pull it into your marrow, pull it deep down in you so it nourishes you on a cellular level. And let go of the stories and the people and the social media feeds and the news feeds that are telling you to be afraid, to be angry, to be disappointed. Because you have every right to be. But you have even greater right to be joyful and grateful in celebrating this life. Where our focus goes, so does our energy. And I don't know about you, but I really want to focus on the things that I want to experience more of. More gratitude, more joy, more heartfelt connection with this world and with each other. Because all in all, this is still a wonderful place to be. If only we see it. If only we pause, breathe, and recognize the majesty around us. Thank you for sharing this time with me this evening. I'm Kaelan. This is Ecstatic Self.